Want to hear an April Fool's joke? Want to hear an April Fool's joke? Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nichols, Houston, Texas. There's my April Fool's joke. I could also talk about Julian Benton, but see, his situation, the other guy from Texas, the guy from Virginia, not as much. I've realized, I learned something today. It's not about right and wrong, it's about marketing. I have probably all the same complaints most conservatives have about Black Lives Matter. Except one thing I noticed. It worked. There is a bill addressing tons of police accountability issues. I'm waiting for it to go to the Senate. For all the complaints, it worked. And you know what bugs the fuck out of me? I can find Republicans talking about no-knock warrants and saying how bad they are. That's what this actually is about. The police and their ability to just bust in your house because they think you have drugs. And they can do this unannounced. All it takes is getting one informant or one random person or the police pressuring someone to tell the judge or anyone else that you have drugs, and that's it. They can bust into your house. Don't shoot that burglar. Don't shoot that possible pedophile breaking into your house or whatever. I can't think of the other P word. Or what's the right word? Proliferer. Don't shoot them. They could be the police, and you will not know about it because they don't have to announce themselves. This is a Republican nightmare. Why so little Republican support? Why is the Crowder guy making fun of it? What the other black guy said it wasn't. Where's the support? There is no support because of the marketing. Breonna Taylor's entire case and story is talked about as an example of police brutality. It is not. The police have the right to search houses and apartments when they get warrants. That's not the problem. Conducting random-ass house searchings in the middle of the night without announcing yourself, busting into houses with guns and whatnot, is a good way to get police officers killed. Which is what happened. The officer in this situation busted in the house, and Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, shot him. He got off. He shot a cop and got off. Every time this exact scenario happens and a cop is injured, and sometimes the cops are killed, the person doesn't get off, even though this person is in their house. The best time is, most of the time with these no-knock warrants, no drugs are found. This is a Republican nightmare. But it's not marketed that way. It's marketed as a race issue. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would say most, and I do mean most of what are considered race issues are probably really closer masquerading as class issues, i.e., but it doesn't really matter. Because if the marketing pisses you off, it doesn't matter what the message is. So people like Ben Shapiro will tell you facts don't care about your feelings. No, listen. All the facts matter. Listen. No, the fact of the matter is that this person is wrong, and the only real voter suppression is the voter suppression going on in regards to Republicans trying to enter into the House and the chamber of the Senate and trying to tell them they cannot be allowed to bring in their firearms. It's against shut the fuck up, Ben Shapiro. Here's the thing about facts don't care about your feelings. It's backwards. Your feelings give context to facts. The fact of the matter is, no-knock warrants is a very clear violation of your Fourth Amendment rights, and the actual use of them have resulted in multiple police officers dying, random people ending up paralyzed, like Julian Benton, or, tons, and I do mean tons of white people being killed, like Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nichols, both of whom were white. That happened in Texas. This is in 2019. Because it wasn't marketed that way. There is no mainstream attention to this issue because they were white. There wasn't enough. Houston, Texas didn't raise enough of an issue, even though some people did. The news didn't pick up the story, either because they were white or whatever. Certain type of stories blow up. The whole thing with Andrew Cuomo being like, oh, he's just an old school Italian guy and he gets all touchy-feely with the girls or whatever. How the fuck is that more of a story than the tons of people that died in the nursing homes under his watch and him lying about those numbers? Marketing. One of these stories is sexy. Oh, powerful politician just touching on the girls. They don't like it. Oh no, Mr. Mayor, I don't like it. It's like, oh no, honey, I don't know what the fuck he sounds like. You know what Italian people sound like. So I'm like, hey, it's okay. 'Cause I'm handsome. I'm single. It's a misunderstanding. And also the marketing is also makes you feel like if you're an older guy, hey, I used to talk to girls like this. I don't see what the problem is. Those girls is fucking lying. And you see it? It's the marketing. Anyone could be like Andrew Cuomo. Single guy, girl doesn't like the advances, so they say some other shit that doesn't happen. There is no marketing on. He did a terrible job and lied about the, you know, thousands of Americans who are, like your relatives or your parents or your grandparents who died on his watch that he lied about. One story is, ooh, sexy. The other one is morose. Marketing driving policies and politics. As much as people hate Black Lives Matter, how they discuss things, because here's the thing, I've worked in politics, I've worked in community organizing. It is difficult to get people out there organized to help in issues that would actually mostly benefit them. Turns out my actual mistake was not playing the race card enough. Oh, and if you're mad that I'm slagging off on black people, the inverse is true. Nothing turns off white people more than talking about race. Because the race aspect is mostly what's talked about in regard to Breonna Taylor. It's like, no, it's not true. She shot first, and the cops, they were right. There were tons of drugs found, and they shot her 27. She shot them 27 times. And I don't understand how her boyfriend could get off. I'm like, I can find you Republicans actually flat out admitting that it's fucking bullshit that the cops can just knock on your door, enter your house, or even just not knock and just bust right in. This is a no-brainer. And very few Republicans hopped on it because they're so focused on saying there's no race issue or no race problems. They're not focused on what actually is the problem. This is why I always find myself being more defensive of somebody who I'm not a fan of. Rand Paul and Mr. Fauci, I think you're just saying this political theater. Rand, I've explained this 5 times. There are different variants and strands of the virus. No, you have to wear a mask after the vaccine because the vaccine only works for one strand of it. You're admit that this is political theater and you want us to wear 2 masks, 3 masks, 4 masks. Rand, there are 2 different strands of the virus. Yeah, Rand Paul was right by flat out calling it out. The no knock warrant situation is just going to get more cops killed. But hey, doesn't matter what the facts are. How did it make you feel? There is no joke. I'm very depressed over this issue. There's no joke. Happy April Fools. I don't know how to let this one go. I fucking hate that the actual way to get things done, even good things that would actually help predominantly, mostly the Americans who are pro Second Amendment, especially with this issue, who would be the most affected in this situation because if you defend yourself, you could go to jail. It's very odd that Breonna Taylor's boyfriend was able to get off. Now, mind you, thank God that judge had common sense and believes in good old America. Fuck yeah. Because let's be honest here, if this was a low profile case, he probably wouldn't have gotten off. There's a guy sitting in Texas in the exact same situation on death row. They broke into his house. No drugs were found, and he's on death row. How the fuck was he supposed to know it was a police officer breaking into his apartment? Huh? But doesn't matter. Those are the facts. And my facts are not marketed very well. So it doesn't matter. There is no joke. I'm just very sad.